We'll go ahead and start. I think I'm going to talk about the copyright issue on YouTube. You know, I can't tell you how many times I have had to deal with random parties, random people with these alleged rights collection agency crap, whatever the hell they are, coming out of the woodwork. Seems like every week someone has some kind of a rights collection agency or some shit like that, and they claim to represent these big companies, you know, companies like Nintendo and Sony and stuff like that. They claim that they represent them. Streamer was one of such that did this shit. He claimed that he was representing Sony, which was complete bullshit, because he was just a regular YouTuber pretending to be something that he wasn't, so that he could collect money that he didn't fucking deserve. Excuse my language, I'm trying to get away from that. But you know, I had an issue probably about, I would say about 3 weeks ago. I had an issue with some prick, Ambry Music or something like that, claiming a video that clearly didn't belong to them. Shit, I forgot the bottom. Anyway, they claimed a video that didn't belong to them because it had Tetris music in it. The Tetris music from the Game Boy. And they were claiming it on behalf of another person on YouTube, and I can't think of their names now, but they were using the Game Boy music in a remix that they made. And when I did the digging on it and everything, I found out that this individual was actually selling this remix on Amazon.com. Clearly, this individual did not have the rights to claim anything. So I wrote him a threatening letter. I sent him a threatening email. I told him, I was like, look, if you don't release the claim here within the next 24 hours, I'm going to contact Nintendo and I'm going to let them know what you're doing. You see, at this point, I didn't really care if Nintendo had claimed the video. I didn't care at this point because I didn't want this little prick making a dime off of my work. So I put the video on private. And when you do that, your views take a hit. I think that this video has something like 80,000 views. So when you do that, your views take a hit. And it devastates your earnings. I don't make a lot from this channel anyway. I know there's some people out there who say you shouldn't make anything. Well, that's your opinion. I don't see the gaming companies going out there making videos like this for general consumption. But anyway, they didn't meet the 24-hour deadline that I gave them. So I got into contact with Nintendo. And I told them what was going on. And I even told them about the guy selling the music on Amazon. I didn't hear anything back from them for about a week. And suddenly, the claim was released. So, when I went back and I looked on Amazon to see if the same guy was selling the music anymore, it was gone. So, victory for me! Now I got Nintendo looking at my ass. But you know, at this point I didn't care. I really didn't care. That's why I didn't put up a fight when Capcom made the claim on Black Tiger. That's why I didn't put up a fight when Konami claimed Salamander. I don't care. As long as it's the legitimate copyright claimant, I don't care. But it's like going back to this issue with E-License. You know, E-License didn't have a right to do what they did, and they were clearly called out on it. They got their asses handed to them. Sega put a smackdown on their asses big time. But you know, Google needs to look into this shit. Google needs to look into these people. When you have any alleged individual making a claim on a video, and it turns out that they do not own it, Google needs to punish these people somehow, some way. They need to face punishment for their false claims. It is absolutely absurd that this crap continues to go on to this day. You know, and one of the things, you know, this is kind of off subject and everything, but something that bothers me, it's kind of always bothered me, is that when you accept a licensing agreement from a company, 99% of the time, that licensing agreement is going to be on the software itself. So if you go out and you buy a game, you're not really agreeing to anything when you buy the game. You're not agreeing to anything. Before you even purchase the game, you haven't signed any kind of a licensing agreement or anything. But as soon as you put that disc into your PlayStation, you got this little agreement that you have to click on before you can proceed with your install. That's what I have a problem with. Because what if I don't want to agree to that? I can't take the copy back to the store and get my money back. GameStop isn't going to do that. So I'm fucked. I am being preemptively forced to accept something that I'm not ready to accept. And going back to the old days of video gaming, when we talk about, I don't know, back in the days of Nintendo, you didn't really have to agree to anything. Now, a lot of people will say, well, the agreement's in the instruction book. Yeah, but who read that shit? And in some of them, it wasn't. You didn't agree to anything. So how can you preemptively force a licensing agreement on someone before they even have a chance to read it? Anyway, I will be right back. I will finish this in a moment. Ah, hell. Alright, I'm back. Had to go get something to drink. Ah, this tastes like shit. I'll drink it anyway. Ugh. It's not sweet at all. I like my tea sweet. That's the way we drink it here in the southeastern part of the United States. We drink our tea sweet. Probably sounds gross to some of my English friends over there. Oh, you drink that shit sweet. What the hell's wrong with you? Nah, but seriously, going back to what I was talking about, when it comes to, you know, when it comes to licensing agreements and such, I honestly don't understand how you can preemptively force someone to accept a licensing agreement before they even have a chance to read it. I don't understand how that's even legally binding. I really don't. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to take it back to the store, tell them you didn't agree with the licensing agreement? They're going to happily give you your money back? That ain't the way it works. That's not the way it works. No, you can't get your money back. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to spend more money to mail the game back to its original source and say, with a letter saying, I'm sorry, I'd like to get my money back because I don't agree with your licensing terms? People are going to look at you like you're fucking batty. There we go again. See, that's the problem that I have with it, you know. Like I said, you know, back in the old days, some companies would do this and some companies wouldn't. You can open up just about any game manual that you have on hand for any old school console, and you can see that there is clearly no licensing agreement inside the manuals. There's nothing. Now like I said, there's a handful that have it, but there's a lot that don't. So imposing some kind of a rule that you cannot rebroadcast anything or something like that, show it off in public, this seems ridiculous to me. Which brings me to my third point. When it comes to formats, you know, you have particular formats that any game company gets a copyright for. So it's like if let's say you're Nintendo and you've got your copyright for Super Mario Brothers, but really, truthfully, the only copyright that you've gotten it for is that particular format. Maybe the music too. But let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. The only way you can really experience a video game is to play it. That's the only way you can really, truly experience it. So, watching a video on it, in my opinion, is not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same as holding a controller in your hand and making the character on screen do what you want. Nose keeps itching. Damn, springtime. But it's not. Damn it. It's not the same. It's not the same experience. Which is why I honestly can't figure out why so many gaming companies and such go after YouTubers for making videos. Because to me, that's free advertisement. And I'll give you an example. When I was deciding on whether or not to buy Punch-Out for the Wii, I went to YouTube. I wanted to see what the game entailed. I wanted to see how good it looked. I wanted to know if people were having fun playing it. I wanted to know if it was worth my money. So I went to YouTube and I found the Game Grumps playthrough on it. And they seemed to be enjoying it pretty damn good. So I went out and I bought a copy. Played it myself. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But if it wasn't for that, I probably would not have went out and purchased it at all. Because I look at YouTube videos like free advertisement. These gaming companies should embrace this shit. I mean, think about how much money is spent every year in advertising. Every year. You spend all of this money in advertising. You buy billboards, you buy news ads, you buy TV commercials, you buy little spots on websites to advertise your game, and it costs a lot of money. But the number one, the absolute number one source of information that people look for online now is YouTube. It's number one. You don't have to pay for commercials. You really don't. Let the gamers play the games, make the videos, and make the money on it. Because in the long term, you're going to benefit from it. Now, if it's a story-driven game, I understand why someone would be apprehensive about it. I understand why a gaming company would feel like it's not a good idea. Like on the game The Last of Us. Hey, I get it there. But yeah, I mean, let people make money on the videos. Seriously. Because it's not coming out of your pocket. In fact, there's other advertisers that are paying to get their ads put on these videos that feature your product. They're paying for it. And the absolute irony in all of this is just how badly Nintendo is cracking down on everyone. How insane Nintendo has gotten. I mean, seriously. Think back to your beginnings, Nintendo. Think back to when you were a struggling company and you ventured into the world of video games. Think back to that point when you were sued by Universal Studios for Donkey Kong. And you won. If it had gone the other way, if the courts had ruled in favor of Universal Studios, you wouldn't exist today. We wouldn't have had the NES. We wouldn't have had the Super Nintendo. We wouldn't have had the GameCube, the Wii, the N64, the Wii U. We wouldn't have had all that. The Game Boys. We wouldn't have had those things. And it is the people that you are going after that made you who you are. People like me. People like me. I can't tell you how many quarters I plunked into your machines. I can't tell you how many of your products I bought. I probably could if I really sat down and thought about it, but I spent a lot of money on Nintendo products. A lot. But for you to go after the people that made you who you are, that stuck with you through this whole debacle with Universal. Believe me, when I was a kid, I followed that story closely because I fucking loved Donkey Kong. And I loved Mario Brothers. And I loved Super Mario Brothers. And I freaking loved Punch-Out! In the arcades, man. I loved it. Donkey Kong Jr. couldn't get enough. I fucking loved that shit, man. I mean, you guys made my childhood. And you guys, you get bent out of shape if somebody makes a few dollars on a fucking video. Let them have it. Let people have it. It's free advertising. It's not coming out of your pockets. The only reason that you would fear someone reviewing your games is if your games sucked. And you knew it. I don't know, man. And it's the same with all of you other gaming companies, man. It goes for all of you. Konami, Capcom, Sega, all of you guys. If you quit making crap products, people will not be as critical of you. You know, what is this obsession with Nintendo making all of these innovative controls? I mean, let's look at how well Sony did. On every console that they had, the design has been about the same. They didn't change anything. They didn't have to. The console sold itself. Nintendo, go back to your roots, man. Remember where you came from. Quit oppressing your clientele. Quit oppressing your customers. And this thing about you getting all bent out of shape over a video, over videos, come on. And like I said before, the only way that you can really experience a game is to pick it up and play it yourself. A video is not hurting you. But all this shit came about after the RIAA and their whole music debacle. That's another subject for another time. But seriously, all of you gaming companies, I don't know how many of you will see this video, if you will at all, but seriously, you need to get past all this crap. You need to quit putting the smackdown on your customers. You need to quit attacking your customers for making videos. Because if we didn't enjoy your products, if we didn't enjoy what you were selling, we wouldn't be making videos about them. We wouldn't be talking about them. I wouldn't be showing differences across different platforms. I wouldn't be doing that if I didn't enjoy what I was doing. And for all of my subscribers out there, I just want to say, thank you so much. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for making my channel a success. Because it wouldn't be what it is without you. It would not be where it is without you. And I really owe that to you guys. You know, I owe it to you to keep producing these videos. You know, but, you know, sometimes life gets in the way. Sometimes it's not easy to find time to make these videos. But I do what I can when I can, so that's why production is slowed down so much. But just hang in there, because I have some more videos coming up. I have one in particular that I think you're going to enjoy. That is, if Nintendo doesn't put a smackdown on it. But hang in there. And by the way, you know, if you like the content on this channel and you want to help me out, I do have a Patreon. I don't really push it that hard, but I do have a Patreon account. And honestly, despite what Social Blade tells you, I don't make that much on this channel at all. I really don't. But any help is always greatly appreciated. I would love to be able to turn this into a full-time thing. I would love for my channel to grow to the point where I have to hire people to help me with it. That's really my ultimate goal. I would love to reach that point, but I really can't do it without you guys. But anyway, like I said, I love all you guys, and I really, really appreciate the help that you've given me over these years with this channel. But anyway, I got to go ahead and sign off. I'm almost at work now, so I got to go. Catch you guys on the flip side.